The critical role of the teacher as classroom manager. Proper classroom management and discipline ensure the success of learning process. Classroom management is the linchpin that makes teaching and learning achievable in the teaching-learning process. It is the teacher who plays the main role in planning, organizing procedures and resources, arranging the environment to maximize efficiency, monitoring student process, anticipating potential problems. In order to maintain the effective management in the classroom, teacher has to be precise and clear in directions to the students, as well he communicates well. Let's now proceed the function performed by an effective teacher. The skills needed for effective teaching involved more than just expertise in academic field. You must be able to interact with people and help them understand a new way of looking at the world. This is not an easy job, although there are many different ways to teach effectively. Good instructors have several qualities in common. They are prepared, set clear and fair expectations, have a positive attitude and patient with students, and assess their teaching on a regular basis. They are able to adjust their teaching strategies to fit both students and materials, recognizing the different students learn in a different ways. As a teacher, you are a role model who sets the tone of the class. If you are able to show enthusiasm and commitment, your students are more likely to reciprocate. Conversely, when you are negative, unprepared, or impatient, these qualities will be reflected in the attitudes of your students. Let's now proceed the importance of effective classroom management. Classroom management is at the very heart of teaching. It affects your students' learning outcomes and also have an impact on your own well-being. Good classroom management is a classroom environment where learning thrives. Students are dedicated to their studies and well-behaved. Poor classroom management is a setting where students are disruptive, disengaged, and teachers aren't listened to. Effective classroom management isn't something that happens naturally. There are core pillars that make up good classroom management, and without thorough understanding of these pillars, your classroom is at risk of being poorly managed. This can be detrimental to students' achievement and development. Below are the list of effective classroom management. First, creates an environment for students that allows them to learn without distractions. Second, reduces poor behavior and distractions so students are focused on learning. Third, facilitates social and emotional development. Fourth, promotes positive interactions between peers and decreases bullying. And lastly, allows for more time to be focused on teaching and learning.
Rules and procedures. Effective classroom management needs good rules and procedures. Rules and procedures are necessary in every classroom, for it leads to a better and quality management. Rules and procedures vary from one teacher to another and from one classroom to another. Each classroom has their rules and procedures. The teachers will conduct a meeting for this and they will have an agreement for those rules and procedures. The most effective classroom management involves the design and implementation of classroom rules and procedures. The teachers should introduce and explain rules and regulations to the students for them to have a better understanding of the importance and on why they impose these rules and procedures. Rules and procedures should not simply be imposed on students. The proper design of rules and procedures involves explanation and group input. The explanation is important in helping the students to see the need for the rule, therefore to accept it. Designing rules and regulations. Identify specific classroom rules and procedures for general expectations for behavior. After making those rules and regulations, the students are expected to have a better behavior beginning and ending the class day or the period. The design should last until the end of the year. Transitions and interruptions. Materials and equipment. Teachers should also talk about the materials they use in making these rules and regulations, for they will post this on the wall of their classrooms. Group work. The teachers should have a teamwork on making these rules and procedures. Each of them should suggest for them to make it better. Seat work and teacher-led activities. Students' involvement in designing and implementing. Students' involvement in designing and implementing. The most effective classroom managers don't simply impose rules and procedures on students. Rather, they engage students in the design of the rules and procedures. The teacher will also introduce those rules and procedures to students and let them share their opinions, for it will lead to a better outcome if the students will understand this. A group discussion will produce a compromise rule or procedure that all can live with. If not, you, the teacher, should have the final word in the deliberations. The teacher will have the last word and decision. Well, articulated rules and procedures that are negotiated with students are a critical aspect of classroom management, affecting not only the behavior of students but also their academic achievement. Well-planned rules and procedures, and that is also well explained to the students, will have a better outcome not only in the behavior of the students but also into their academic performance.
Consequences are viewed as the result of a child's inappropriate actions. That is, they should not be viewed as something imposed, such as sanctions, but rather as an appropriate outcome for inappropriate act. A consequence should make sense, be a logical ending for an action. It should be the effect of behaving inappropriately. On the other hand, consequences are a result of a behavior, whether positive or negative. Allowing natural consequences to occur is best, if possible, so children learn the cause and effect relationship of their behavior and consequences. Parents occasionally need to use consequences for bad behavior. Consequences should focus on teaching a child, not coercing a child as with punishment. Punishment, on the other hand, is punitive and or penal. It does not necessarily serve a leading purpose, but rather gets even. It sends the wrong message. Children are in school to learn. Part of learning is making mistakes, both academic and social. Imagine punishing a student for misspelling a word. It sounds absurd. Effective teachers discover appropriate ways to help the students learn the correct way to spell the word. A like approach should be taken to address inappropriate behavior. Punishment is a behavior that inflicts emotional or physical pain on a child. It is used as a means of coercion to get your child to behave well or to do what you want.